Werewolves is a 2024 action thriller sci-fi dystopian horror film. This one has, didn't know much about this one. I knew Frank Grillo was in it and that was about it. But this movie does something a little bit different with the werewolf genre. Usually werewolf films are very intimate and small, something usually involving I got cut or bit and now I'm turning, and it usually involves a couple of people or a small town. This one takes things to disaster level proportions. In Werewolves, there's a special supermoon that keeps turning a large population of the people into dangerous werewolves, and you don't have to be bitten or infected, you just turn, and millions of people have died since this started. So Frank Grillo plays Wes. He is a biologist of some sort, and his sister-in-law lost her husband, so he has to be a good uncle and sets up booby traps and barricades her house for her. He can't stay overnight during the supermoon because he's got to work on a cure. So they have the super lab with an open dome, almost like a stadium, and they have some volunteers. They're going to try moon screen, which is like this special mist they spray on people, and hopefully they won't turn into werewolves. So this movie is basically a Roland Emmerich movie, but werewolves instead of a big disaster. It definitely has that kind of 90s to 2000s early vibe of an action horror film like Dog Soldiers or Independence Day. And I really like that vibe. You know, the movie's super serious, doesn't have any camp humor or any jokey attempts at humor. And I kind of liked how it was serious. It wasn't trying to be like this sort of like, hey, we're just going to go in there and kill some doggos or whatever. It was super serious, and it made it even more campy. But, you know, Frank Grillo also, he's playing like some sort of scientist man, but he doesn't look like it. He looks like more of a soldier man, which is funny. That's like almost like a cliche. But, yeah, the movie's packed with werewolves, packed with action. Things go wrong at the lab, and he has to make his way back to his sister-in-law's house. And there's all sorts of, you know, people being taken apart, and the moon screen stuff, and the things go wrong, basically. It ends up being almost like The Purge, but with werewolves. That's essentially the pitch. And the movie isn't perfect. I kind of felt like the sister-in-law character was really dumb and didn't do much. And same with the scientist lady. I think her name was Dr. Chen or something. She's basically just a sidekick for most of the movie and doesn't get to do much. And they try to put the barest amount of character development, but there's plenty of action and pretty good visual effects and practical effects for the werewolves. So if you're in the mood for like a rough and tumble, you know, brawny, pulpy, bloody action picture, then yeah, Werewolves is the perfect B-movie. It's nothing particularly wrong with it, except a couple of underdeveloped characters, but you're there for the werewolves. You're not there for the humans. So I give Werewolves a 7 out of 10.